I'm ready to start my career, but do you have any time for yourself, or is it just work, work, work? That is a great question, Corey, and it's actually one that I get all the time. As I'm answering this question today, to all of you guys that are watching, please drop any other questions that you may have down in the comment section below, as my channel is meant to be a resource for you if this is a career that you are interested in pursuing. Now, having a good work-life balance is something that's extremely important to me, and it's actually one of the main reasons why I left my old job as a store manager for AT&T and decided that I needed to do something different. I needed to find a job that would allow me to not just make more money, but also would allow me to spend more time with my family, since being able to provide for them and spend time with them is the reason why I work in the first place. And from the research that I had done, becoming an electrician looked like a great way to make that dream a reality. And I have to say, one of the first things that I noticed when I first became an apprentice electrician was how much more time I suddenly had. Because back when I was a store manager for AT&T, aside from my insane work schedule where I was paid salary, I was always the one that had to cover any shifts if my employees called out for any reason. As an electrician, I found that there's no actual shifts, just a routine start and stop time, meaning that for any reason, if I needed to take time off, I no longer had to try to find somebody to fill my shift. I suddenly had a consistent schedule with weekends off, which made planning my personal life a lot easier. If I remember correctly, the first job that I was assigned to, we worked from 7 a.m. to 3:30. And unlike AT&T, if I was asked to work more hours for any reason, I was actually paid the overtime. Now, once the schooling portion of my apprenticeship started, I did find that things got a little bit busier. I had to be pretty intentional with my time management and figure out a schedule that worked for me to get my homework done throughout the week. And aside from 10th term, I would say that early on in my apprenticeship, we had a bigger homework load, which meant that I did have less free time towards the beginning of my apprenticeship than towards the end. There definitely were some times when I had to make the responsible decision to say no to doing something that I wanted to do because I knew that I had to get my homework done for the week. Still, it was very manageable, and even with the added homework load, I would say that compared to my previous job, I now had way more time to spend with my family. I think that the busiest time during my apprenticeship was during 10th term, which is all dedicated towards studying and preparing for taking your journeyman's licensing exam. During those 3 months, I really dedicated a lot of my free time to studying, which did ultimately pay off as I passed my journeyman's licensing exam on my first try. So here's what my work-life balance looked like for me after I completed my apprenticeship. The job site that I work at has scheduled work hours from 6 a.m. to 2:30. So while I do have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to make it to work on time, I usually get home between 3 and 3:30, which means that I still have a whole lot of the day to spend time with my family. And I'm able to easily take time off work for vacations or anything else since, again, there's no actual shifts that need to be covered. It's really nice because things do come up. For example, maybe my daughters have a performance at their school that I don't want to miss, and thankfully I'm able to always be there for things like those by either leaving work early, going into work late, or maybe just taking the day off work altogether. Now, don't get me wrong, if I was constantly taking time off work, I would probably be out of a job. You still need to be reliable, and the more reliable you are, the more flexibility you're likely to have as a result. Now, part of that flexibility definitely depends on different things like what job site you're working at, different deadlines that need to be met, like I said, how reliable you are, but generally speaking, as an electrician, if you need to take time off, it's going to be something that you're probably going to be able to do without much difficulty. Now, I did personally become a foreman last year, and so I've actually been going into work an extra hour early every day. And because of that, I've actually been waking up at 3:40 every morning, which means that I've also been going to bed earlier these days. Still, all things considered, I feel like I have a great work-life balance and that I'm still able to enjoy my life outside of work. Oftentimes, I actually make it home before my wife is home from work and my daughters are home from school. So that entire portion of their day, I'm able to be there and spend with them. Now, don't get me wrong, my experience as an electrician is not going to be the same as everyone else's. There are some electricians who have to travel for work, which means that their entire life during that time is pretty much just work. There's also some jobs that offer crazy hours, like 6-10-hour shifts per week. And while the money can be absolutely insane, it can really be a struggle if time is something that you value more. And while it's not always the case, generally speaking, these types of jobs and hours are going to be optional, which means that it's going to be completely up to you whether or not you want to work those crazy hours. I gotta say though, one thing that I'm really thankful for about this trade is the fact that if you want to work these extra hours and make that extra money, oftentimes that will be an option for you. So in my experience as an electrician, yes, I do have time to myself, and it's not just work, work, work. I actually have a work-life balance now, all the while making more money than I ever thought I would in my entire life. I'm able to have time for myself, time for my family, and heck, I'm even able to have time for you guys when I make these videos. Now, aside from the information that I provide in my videos, a huge portion of this channel that serves as a resource to other people who are researching this as a career is actually the comment section. So if you're an electrician, I would love for you to share what your work-life balance looks like as well. Whether your experience has been just like mine or you completely disagree with everything that I'm saying, your shared experience is going to help other people who are researching this as a career, so your feedback would be very much appreciated. Alright, well if you enjoyed this video and you found this information to be helpful, would you please just smash the like button so that the YouTube algorithm will know to recommend this to more people? And of course, if you want to be notified anytime that I post more videos in the future, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel with the notification bell turned on. Also, make sure to check out my Instagram page and electrician tools that I personally have and recommend, which I'll have a link to both of those in the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, don't live to work, work to live. Have a good one.